Alright, and welcome to the 5th Kaupen Daily Yap out here. Let's jump right in. I want to start this time with a quote. When one eye is fixed upon your destination, there is only one eye left with which to find the way. I sadly have not written down who said this. It was someone in like the self-improvement space thing. Idea being the age-old sort of dichotomy or idea of journey versus destination. So it is sometimes it's really, once again, more or less an empty platitude, right? Saying, oh, the journey is more important than a destination. The real issue is with these sort of quote-unquote empty platitudes or ancient wisdom that you've heard numerous times, there's probably some truth to them because they've been repeated for so long. If you want to do anything difficult, it doesn't matter. You want to write a book, you want to become a successful YouTuber, you want, I'm like more in the creative domain, so that's why most of my sort of examples are in that. You want to make a video game, like you want to create a video game, you want to be a big streamer, that's all awesome. That's great. It's good that you have some goals that are inherently interesting to you. Then what you have to realize is that there are always going to be parts of that process, right? Process or journey, we can call it whatever we want, that you're going to be like, oh, I really don't want to do this. Maybe you're not the biggest fan of editing. That is totally, it's okay. Or maybe you are actually a fan, but maybe sometimes you just have to get through this. That always can happen, and that's fine, right? That's not an issue. However, what is an issue if you don't like any part of a process? Let's say you're like, I really want to write books, or no, that's not the right one. If you say, I really want to have written a book, yeah, but that's not how it works, right? You can't have a six-pack, but say, I want to have a six-pack, but I don't want to work out. Unlikely to happen. Yeah, six-pack is usually made in the kitchen, yada, yada, yada. You know what I mean. You know the idea, right? I want to build muscle, but I don't want to work out. That's one basically has to happen in order for the other to happen. So that's why you have to, at some point, also like the journey for the journey's sake, which will not only help you immensely going through it, because there will always be like issues that arise, and each issue is a hurdle that someone who liked the process is going to get over much easier than someone who did not, right? So if you're doing something purely because you're like, I want the end goal of this, it's going to be very hard for you. So one thing, there's a great quote over here that I have, and that is, one day in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful. And that's from Sigmund Freud. Amazing. What an amazing quote. I think that is super useful and super valuable because it's true. We can discount, and I don't know if this is just a personal thing, maybe you disagree with this, it's very possible. But when I look at workouts I did, that like really hard workouts that were really successful, they were in the moment, they were painful. They were like, I was going crazy, lightheaded, you know, all of that stuff. Like, but, and there was pain involved, specifically when I do squats. Jesus H. Christ, that's a rough one, but it is fair. It's, you know, that's how you grow. That's how muscles grow. But when I look back, I can very easily discount the pain and say, that was pretty good. That was pretty nice. Like I can think back to this. And this is with every single time there was a struggle going on. And it's so weird. It's so weird. So it's just, it doesn't even make any sense, right? We can very easily discount it. Now, while you're in pain, especially if it's health related, agreed. That is horrendous. And you should either get that checked out, try to do something obviously medically, or, you know, endure. But if it's the pain of trying to move towards something, that's going to be the pain that builds you up as well, which is, it's strange, but it is true. Yeah, that's one of the big ones. That's one of the big ones. Another quote, I really like quotes. I'm gonna incorporate more quotes into the daily apps out here because I have a Google Keep, like my Google Notes basically, are filled with, I don't even know at this point, like 4,000 quotes or something. Yeah, I like them. I really do. And this is a quote by James Allen, highly recommended, by the way. James Allen, all of his books, As a Man Thinketh, unbelievable. Just such a great book. Such a great book. If you want any type of book recommendations or something like that, I can also do a daily app about some of my book recommendations or just books that I've been reading. However, the quote is, "Every moment is the time of choice, and every hour is destiny," meaning that every moment we have a choice to do whatever we wish to do. And really, it sort of goes back to what I've been talking about a while back in one of the previous daily apps. The matrix of simple and complex, the simple and complex, you know, matrix axis thing, the way that you can categorize every task. You almost always know what the right thing to do is. Almost always. It is very rare, or it's a very rare person that thinks that doesn't actually know what the correct thing to do is. You know, be it, oh, you have to answer someone, or you have to call someone, or you have to, you know, take the dishes out of the dishwasher. Do I have to do this? No, I don't. I actually don't. I do have to get my laundry though. That's a thing that I will do after the recording is done. But you know what I mean? This is the thing. It's like you do most of the time know what to do, and they are simple things, and they will be powerful when you do them. And yeah, look at that. I have another one. I actually written it down. Oh, look at this. This should have been a part of the last video. It doesn't matter. I'll mention it now, right? If you remember, I don't know, maybe you've watched it, maybe you haven't. Do not let them poison your mind was one of the things that I've said in the last video. And I've written down, the internet doesn't show reality. It shows you whatever you click on. Oh, what a powerful statement. That is a powerful one. I like that. That's really good. That should have really been the part of the last one. But it's fine. That's okay. Listen, I really think that the journey has to be paramount, basically. Because if you, let's say you were studying in your bachelor's or master's degree, right? And that's sometimes that's gonna be a struggle there. Sometimes you're gonna be like, oh, I really don't like this course. That's totally fine. But if the entire thing is not, if you're like, I don't even like this particular subject that I'm studying, that's not good. Because what's going to happen is that you're going to study for, let's say, like 3 years, 4 years, whatever long your degree takes. And then you have like 2 days of celebrating, and that's it. The celebration is going to be so short in comparison to whatever you build or the journey you take, that it's actually like not even really, I don't want to say it's not worth it, but it's very hard to, it's extremely hard to justify the struggle by just the celebration, let's say. And yeah, of course, you have something, most of the time, if it's something that is hard to achieve, then you probably will have something that persists afterwards, right? So, you know, you work out a lot, you have now you have a great body to sort of, I don't know, I mean, you have a great body, you have good health, things like that, right? If you study, or if you go to university, you have a degree, now you have that degree for the rest of your life. Yeah, that's true. That is very much correct. But it is, the celebration itself should not be the goal. So that is a thing to think about. It has to be the way, the journey. And like I said, it's an incredibly cliche thing to say, but there's a reason why it's a cliche, you know? There's a reason why it's a cliche. And the reason is because there's some truth that rings in there. There's some truth that rings in there. And you also got to remember, you know, if you want to build a human being that's strong, what would you put them through? You probably wouldn't give them everything that they wanted right away. That's a quote from Alex Hormozy. Good thing to think about. But yeah, that's it for today. See you next time.